Welcome to the Inspired Riding Podcast. I'm your host, Beth Lauren Parrish. As a certified riding instructor, remote coach, and rapid transformational therapy practitioner, a powerful form of hypnotherapy, I'm here to remind you to slow down, trust your intuition, and really deeply listen to your horse. And this will make for the best co-creative dances possible, whether you're on the ground or connecting on their backs. Thank you so much for being here, and here we go. Hello there, Inspired Riders. In this podcast, we're continuing the Riding Instructor interview series, and today we have Tiffany Andrews. Tiffany Andrews grew up riding in lesson barns and started her competition career at age 13. When she aged out of the junior divisions, she went straight into working with horses professionally, owning and managing her own boarding training business for 10 years. Currently, Tiffany trains out of Morningside Stables in Maryland. She spends her day teaching a wide variety of students, many whom have come to her with problem and project horses, or have confidence issues in the saddle and on the ground. Tiffany believes in building confidence in both horse and rider to make their goals a reality. Tiffany offers full and partial training, lessons, clinics, and coaching at shows. She specializes in eventing and dressage, but also has a strong background in hunter jumpers and equitation. Over the years, she's shown her main horse, Crown Royal, whom she brought along herself in the 3-6 hunters, the meter jumpers, training level eventing, and up through third level dressage. Along with teaching riders and training client or program horses, Tiffany also is working to bring along her 4-year-old off-the-track thoroughbred, Frozen, with plans for her to be her next upper-level competition horse. I'm so excited to interview her, and here we go. Hey, Tiffany, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So, we're doing our riding instructor interview series, as you know. And my first question for you is, what do you love most about teaching?
That's such a difficult question because I feel like I love so many things about being an instructor, but I would have to say probably my favorite thing is seeing just the overall partnership that I get to see between the horse and riders, mostly the kids, but I do have some adults that I enjoy seeing the partnerships that they get between their horses and themselves. But it's just really great to see the partnerships grow and flourish, and it's just really special to get to watch that and to get to really work with each individual rider and each individual horse. They all have such different personalities and they all learn so differently. So it's really cool as an instructor to get to unlock a lot of different things. And it's cool for my own learning. I get to kind of watch and learn and figure things out myself. And it's kind of like a little puzzle that I get to put together and really help them out to do their best and reach their goals.
I love that. Yeah, I do like to say that riding and teaching is like a moving puzzle.
Yeah, it really is. It's a lot of pieces sometimes smaller puzzles than others, but I think the really intricate puzzles are the most rewarding and the most fun.
Totally agree. Thank you for sharing that. How have you shifted your way of teaching over the years?
I think I've shifted my way of teaching quite a bit. I've been teaching for, I've been teaching for 10, 12, like 15 years. So really over that time period, I was really young when I started teaching, and I would say a little more closed-minded. I started out on kind of the A circuit in the hunter jumper world. I was very kind of focused on just the shows and getting my clients to shows and just really pushing the horses. And I think it was a little too focused on the competition aspect of things and not so much on what really matters in riding, which is now to me like the partnership between the horse and the rider and being positive and really enjoying what we're doing. So I think over the years, it's really shifted in that sense that now I can really look at things with an open mind. I can work with a lot of different disciplines. So instead of just working with hunter jumpers, now I do a lot of eventers. I work with dressage riders. I work with hunter jumpers still. I do a lot of equitation riders. So it's been really fun to be able to do a lot of different things and expand my knowledge base, and just really open my mind to a lot of different ways of teaching and a lot of different ways of doing things overall. So I think that's the biggest way that my teaching has shifted, is just going from being closed-minded to open-minded.
And do you think there was a pivotal moment, or do you think it just happened gradually?
I do, actually. I started riding dressage, I'd say about halfway through my teaching career. And when I started riding dressage, it was a huge shift for me in my riding personally. And it really, really showed me a lot that I had to learn. It was kind of a big kick in the pants that I needed to just change everything about me and my riding and my teaching. And even though I still had riders that didn't do just dressage or do dressage at all, I was able to take that and put it into their riding as well. And it's helped their riding immensely. So I will say that dressage really, really changed me for the better.
I totally agree. I'm getting chills because that's exactly what happened to me. I was a hunter jumper, mostly equitation, and my trainer was actually an upper level dressage trainer, and she taught me like dressage between the jumps without me even realizing. Mm-hmm. And then as an adult, when I started teaching, I got back to her and I said, okay, now really show me some dressage here. I want to know. And my first lesson, it was 45 minutes, and she had me literally almost laying back on the horse to help exaggerate my position because I was so much in that forward seat. And my abs were killing me. So by the time I got home, I slept for 3 hours and my brain was like mush. I'm like, I love this so much though.
Yes. Yeah. I have had that same exact talk with some of my kids where I'm like, you're up here, you need to sit back here. And it's been so helpful for them to feel kind of the biomechanics of everything, and it's helpful for the horses. It's just a great tool all around. So
totally,
I really enjoy it.
Do you guys have mirrors where they ride?
We do not, unfortunately. We have a really big outdoor and then a smaller outdoor. So we have one singular mirror. Okay. So they can kind of see, but unfortunately we don't have anything big. So
I remember that was a tool that really helped. She's like, look at yourself. I'm like, oh. So I'm wondering if maybe just taking little videos of people and showing them, like getting that quick feedback.
Yeah, we do definitely. That's something that we've started trying to incorporate in our lessons a little bit, is we try to do videos. That way we can show the kids even within the lesson. We'll kind of take a quick video and then be like, okay, stop, come here. I'm going to show you. Now let's go try again. And then let me video you again. And then I'll show you again. That way you can kind of see the differences. Because I do really think that helps them to see, how they were riding and how they need to be riding. That way they can kind of visualize that and try to make those changes.
Oh, that's gorgeous. I bet that they really light up when they see the differences.
Yes, they do.
So cool. Well, Tiffany, how do you typically stay inspired?
So I really try to stay inspired through my own riding. I find that if I start to not focus on my own riding, that I start to get burnt out or things start to kind of feel monotonous. So I really try to focus on my own riding a lot. I try to make sure that I'm riding at least 4 days a week. I have my own off the track thoroughbred that I just got. So I'm focusing on her training, bringing her along, This year we're just going to kind of see what she wants to do, which is going to be fun. So we're going to do a bit of everything and just see where she wants to go, and I'll be happy with whatever she picks. So that's kind of my goal right now. And I feel like that's kind of how I stay inspired as far as even my teaching goes, because I'm able to learn through my own riding. And then by going to clinics or taking lessons and going to shows myself, I keep growing my own education, and then I can pass that along to my clients as well.
That's so important.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that you have a thoroughbred that you're offering choices to say, hey, what would you like to do? That's really sweet.
Yeah, I'm super big into that. And we're like that with our lesson horses as well. So our farm, we have 3 different facilities, and we have a ton of lesson horses, and we're very, very big on if they don't want to do 100 jumpers, maybe they try eventing. If they don't want to do eventing, maybe they try the 100 jumpers. And if they aren't happy being lesson horses, then we might see if they want to do something else. Like, we don't want to force them to do something that they don't want to do. We are really big on the happiness of the horse, making sure that they are in a job that they enjoy, that they are with riders that they enjoy. We don't want to force them into being something that they're not. And I've always been like that throughout most of my career. I definitely, like I said, the dressage definitely helped in kind of moving forward in my training, but I'm really, really big on letting the horse kind of tell me where they're happiest, and then just letting them do that. Because if they're not happy, then I don't really see the point in doing it.
I love that so much. So getting more into the nitty gritty of that, if you have a horse that you're about to do a lesson with and you're getting the sense that they're not really wanting to do the lesson, do you change gears? Do you do groundwork? Do you switch horses? What are your normal protocols for that?
Yeah, so there's a couple different ways that we can work with that. It really kind of depends on the situation. We have a couple other areas at the farm that we can ride at. So we have some trails. We do have some fields that we can ride in. We have some jumps that are out in fields too. And then we have the 2 arenas. So we have kind of some different riding areas. So like, I've had some horses that say they go into the ring and they're a little sour that day. And I'm like, well, let's go to the field and see if they want to ride in the field. And maybe they go out there and they're super happy, and that's great. It just means they need some more time outside of the ring, and I love that. Like, that's totally fine. And again, I don't care if they're a hunter, if they're a dressage horse, like, they still need field time too. So we're really big on that. And then same thing, like, if they come to the ring and they're really struggling, and same thing with riders too. Like, I'll just make that point. Like, if I have a kid come to the ring and they're really struggling, I'll be like, hey, like, do you want to go for a trail ride? Do you want to go do this? Like, let's change this up so that we can all be successful here, because it's just not fair to the horse or the rider to force something that's not working. So I'm really big on that, with just kind of thinking on our feet and making changes where we need to. So yeah, if that happens, we'll just either go on a trail, go in the field. And if the horse is really, really not feeling it, then yeah, we can go do some groundwork. We can do like a barn lesson. Or sometimes if we have enough time, we can swap out a horse too. So plenty of options.
I love that. I get chills from that. Like, yes, all places need to be like this. So good. And I was going to follow up with of course, the question about the students. So you already covered that. I love it. Do you ever have students go, hey, I'm getting a weird feeling, or I'm getting an intuitive hit? Like, how do you handle those situations?
Yeah, we definitely do. It's definitely one of those things that I really take the time to stop and talk with them and say, okay, well, explain the feeling to me. That way I can try to better understand where you're coming from and what you're feeling. Because obviously I'm not in your head and I'm not on the horse right now. So I need to feel, try to feel at least what you're feeling. And if sometimes, even if I can't understand what they're feeling and I have the ability to, maybe I'll get on the horse myself. That way I can see if I can feel something. And then that way I can explain to the student what exactly is happening. Because sometimes it just comes from a lack of knowledge, or a lack of experience. And that's totally okay. Like, we totally get that. Not everyone is at the same experience level. And sometimes they just don't know what they're feeling on the horse. So I want to be able to educate them. And to do that, sometimes I need to be able to feel that myself. So we'll sometimes do that. And then sometimes if I'm able to just work through it with them while they're on the horse, we'll do that as well. Where I can just kind of teach them some exercises to work through issues, or kind of explain to them what to do, especially with like our lease riders and stuff like that who lease a horse or own a horse, because it's important for them to know if they are on their own what they need to do in those kinds of situations. So I'll kind of explain to them, okay, this is what you would do if you feel A, B, and C. You need to do this and this to work through that. So, but we also teach stuff as well, like lunging, and groundwork and stuff like that. That way they also have those tools if they feel like they're ever in a situation where, hey, I'm here, say my instructor's not here and I need to get off and lunge the horse or something like that.
That's so good to have those tools.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. I'm so glad you do all that. It's so important, I think, for instructors to be that kind and that understanding and that curious to find out what's going on with the student, what's going on with the horse, instead of just going, oh, you just need to listen to me. Like, that's such an old way of being, but there's still a lot of trainers out there like that. So it's so heartwarming to hear your perspective and that you're doing that with your students. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, of course.
What are some of your teaching tips that you'd like to share that could elevate the horse world?
So I have a couple. So the first one I have is definitely to stay relevant. This is one that I kind of had to teach myself this year. So we recently started doing IEA, and that's like a team type competition for high school and middle school type riders, and it's equitation based. And I've been kind of out of the equitation world for a while. I was teaching it like on the local level, but definitely wasn't focusing on it. So when we started doing IEA, I definitely felt a little out of place, and like I wasn't caught up on all of the trends and all of the different things that I needed to know. So I just found that whether it's equitation or whatever discipline it is, just to really, it's important to stay relevant. Make sure that whatever sport you're teaching, that you're out there watching shows, watching classes, listening to clinics, just paying attention. So that's kind of what I did. Is as soon as we started doing that, I started watching a bunch of equitation clinics, and I started watching equitation classes to see what trends people were doing. I started paying more attention at local horse shows that we were at to the equitation classes and listening to other instructors. That way I kind of knew what was going on. And it really helped. It really did. So our IEA team, we ended up going to zones this year, which was a huge step forward. So it was a huge help to be able to be relevant. So that was number one.
That's awesome.
Number two is definitely to keep an open mind, thinking outside the box with the horse and rider, because nobody learns the same. Everyone's different, whether they're a horse, whether they're the rider. It's not one creature is the same. I've had horses that are totally different. So you have to kind of stay on your toes and be like, okay, this isn't working. I need to try something else. Let's go back to square one, be patient, and just figure it out. Same thing with the riders. Like, if something's not working, don't keep pushing it. It's obviously not working. So try to keep that open mind and just go back to the drawing board and try again. So I think that's really, really important for instructors, because I've seen a lot that just really, they stick to their one style and that's it.
They get stuck.
Yeah. So, yeah. Number 3, always keep educating yourself. I think that's really important as an instructor, is to just make sure that you are always staying educated and always keep learning. Just because you might have been teaching for 40 years in the industry doesn't mean that you still don't have things to learn. I still have so much to learn. I'm learning things every day. I learn so much every day from all of my students and all of the horses that I work with on a daily basis. And I'm so blessed to be able to work with so many different horses and students. And I like reading books, like I said, watching clinics, watching shows, anything you can do, riding in clinics yourself. Even if you don't ride, like there's so many other things that you can do to learn. Number 4, this is something that we've kind of put into place this year. We've found to be really helpful, making sure that you bring positivity to your lessons. Have the students give lists of positives after each ride. So I found that to be really helpful, because I think especially in today's day and age, there's a lot of negativity going on, not just in the world, but social media in general, and just kids have it hard out there. So I've just really found that a lot of the kids have a hard time finding the positives in things. So I really try to, not just myself, but I tell all our other instructors to make sure that they are positive in their lessons and that they bring positivity toward the students. And then if they're really having a hard time, tell them like, okay, give me like 5 positives that happened today. That way they're always ending on a positive note.
That's beautiful. I love that.
And then number 5, this is something that I think is especially, it's easy for me because we, at our farm, we work closely with a lot of other instructors. Like we have a huge network of instructors within the 3 facilities. But I think it's important to work closely with other instructors around you. You could always learn something from somebody else. I learned something from even younger instructors than me. So I watch as they teach and I watch as they work with other students. And it's just enlightening to be able to watch them and learn from them, and then me help them. And it's just a great tool to be able to network and talk with other people. And even if you don't have other instructors within your own farm, doing that with other instructors at shows, or just having some kind of a close network with other farms around you, I think is important. And I know it's something that is a little taboo, but I think it's important, really.
I love that idea. I think in one of my tips for instructors in my guidebook, I wrote, if you could like do like an exchange day, like you teach someone else's students for a day and then they teach your students, and it would be really fun to like watch each other teach that way, and then get some more feedback, and so you get outside perspectives. I just love that you have that network right there and you can support each other. It's really cool.
Yeah, for sure. It's really nice just to be able to bounce off of each other, and it just makes it really nice.
I have a gorgeous memory of teaching in New York City at the Chelsea Piers. We had a huge indoor arena for about 25 horses, and sometimes there would be 6 or 7 lessons going on. It literally felt like Grand Central in this indoor. And there was this wonderful trainer, and I learned something so fun from her. Every time she asked her student to change diagonals, instead of saying change your diagonal, she would go, ba-dum-bum. I'm like, that's the cutest thing. I'm stealing that.
That is so cute.
So, I mean, just little nuggets are just gorgeous like that. So I love being able to absorb as much as I can. I remember taking lessons probably from every one of those instructors, because I would get there early, because driving into New York City was, you never know the timing of it. So I'd get there early and the manager would let me ride the school horses. So I would grab one of the instructors, like, okay, I'm grabbing a lesson from you. Let's go. And I became a sponge. So it sounds like you're doing the same. I just absolutely love that you're continually learning and growing. It's awesome. Cool. Okay. So let's see. Do you have a story about a favorite lesson horse?
That's another hard one because I have so many lesson horses that have stolen my heart.
Oh, I feel that.
There is one particular that I have fallen in love with at the barn so like I said, we have 3 facilities. So the one that I'm based out of, her name is Alice. She is just so special. And she came to us as, I wouldn't call her like an abuse case, but she was just skinny, didn't have great feet, just was kind of, didn't have a whole lot of training. She was an off the track. And she had to kind of sit for a while to get her weight back up. And she, just started out kind of rough. And then she came over to the facility that I'm at, and we started working with her, and she was a little bit all over the place. She's not the best put together, but she just grew so quickly, and she's just the sweetest horse that you'd ever meet. And she literally has no reason to be the sweetest horse that you've ever met because she wasn't given all of the good things in life. And it just always makes me so, I don't know, the feeling that I have, like, because it's just amazing to me, these animals, how they don't need to give us all these things. Like, they really don't. And you can put you can put a rider on her that goes and jumps the 2-6, or you can put a tiny tot on her that does walk trot, and she just flops around, and she's just the best soul ever. And she'll come up and hang out with me. Like, she'll like seek me out in the arena and just come up and put her head on me, and just, she's kind of chosen me like as her little person. And I so wish that one day she were mine, but right now she is very happily owned by the farm, and she's very well taken care of and very loved by so many people. But I adore her with all of my heart. She is so special. And she is, like I said, just the sweetest horse in the world. So that is definitely one of my favorites.
Oh, she sounds amazing. And I'm sure she appreciates all this love and appreciation coming back at her. And I'm sure that's what's had her blossom into the steady caretaker, right?
Yeah, I think she really does. And that's what I think is so special. We've had a couple horses like that have either come from rescues or have been in bad situations. And those are always the best ones, because once they get all that loving care, and they really, like, all the kids love on them, and all the clients, like, they just love these horses so much. And the horses just really give back. And it's just amazing to me. Like, horses are just such amazing animals, really, for that. Like, there's not very many other animals that would do the things that these animals do, and it's just amazing to watch. They're just so special.
They're such a gift. Yeah. I'm glad you get to witness this every day. It's gorgeous.
Yes, me too. It really is a gift.
Okay, Tiffany, what's something that surprised you while teaching?
I think really it's been more, it's really been in my time teaching at Morningside. I've had a lot of different varieties of levels and different varieties of, I guess, just diversity, like different ages and levels, and like men, women, boys, girls, sizes, like all different things, just diverse. And it's, I guess the surprising part is just how willing everyone is to kind of learn the same thing.
Oh, yes.
And how different everyone does learn, but how I guess, like, how excited everyone is to come and learn something like this. Because I had never really experienced that until I came to Morningside. At the barns that I was at before, it was a lot of privileged kind of people, and people that kind of took it for granted and were very, like, snobby and just not great about it. And at Morningside, it's like no matter who it is, they show up and they're so excited to be there and they're just so grateful for everything, and they love the horses and they love us and they just love the barn. And it was so surprising to me at first and still to today. Like, it's just like amazing to me how, just bright and like cheerful everybody is no matter what. Like I don't think I've come across like really much of a single person. I mean, you sometimes get people here and there, but the majority of people are just so happy to be around the horses, and they love to learn, and they all want to learn the same things, and they all want to be super involved, and they just all love Morningside for what it is, and it's just one big happy family, and it's just an amazing place. So I just think that was probably the most surprising thing. I know it's kind of a weird, surprising thing, but I just had never experienced that in my whole riding career. So to come across something like that, I felt like that was really something special, and I've never wanted to let that go since being there.
I can understand that. It sounds so refreshing, and gosh, I want to go hang out with you guys the way you described it. Like, I'm booking my flight. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it really is. Like, it's just one big happy family.
Oh, that's awesome. And what a beautiful place to have horses, because they probably feel that energy too. I know they do.
They do.
Yeah.
They really do. Like, and I know that they do. Like, they definitely feel that for sure.
So beautiful. Do you have a transformation story about a student that you'd like to share?
It was hard to come up with just one because I have so many. But I'm gonna talk about one who really impressed me because she has come so far. When I first got her, she had just started riding, and I've had a few of these where I've totally started them from the ground up. But she had just started riding. This was a few years ago, and I taught her for a little bit, and she started showing, and she struggled a little bit when she first started showing with just kind of emotion and just figuring things out. And it was just, I think, stressful for her. So it was one of those things where I had to kind of talk with them, her and her mom, and just be like, okay, well, I think we need to take a break from showing and maybe put it on the back burner for a little bit, because I don't think mentally it's the right choice for her right now, which that was something that I've never had to do before.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I was like, it was a little different. Like, I've never had to have that conversation, but I felt like it was the right thing to do.
Sure.
Well, then in a little bit of a turn of events, I had to hand her off to another instructor for a little bit, and she was with her for a few months. And then I ended up getting her back when that instructor ended up moving on. And I started teaching her again, and after a few months, we hit like IEA season. I was like, does she want to try again? And they tried again, and she did really well. And I was like, okay, well, let's try normal shows. Well, she started out with some normal shows, and she was doing really well with it. And they started adding more and more shows, and they were pretty much showing like at every single show that we were going to. And she ended up qualifying for 2 of our year-end finals. And she did really, really well at those. And then this year, she ended up starting riding one of my horses, my own personal horses. And she just started showing again. She started eventing this year as well. So she's doing pretty much all of our shows this year.
That's amazing.
And she went to a CT with my horse this past weekend, and they got a first place. So yeah.
Congratulations.
Really
That's awesome.
Yeah. And her attitude has just totally changed. Like, she was just so positive and so happy, and it's just great to see how, like I was saying earlier, it's just one of those things where sometimes you have to think outside of the box and do things a little differently, and everyone grows at their own pace, and sometimes you have to take a break and come back to it.
Yeah.
So it just worked out for the better.
Good for you for telling them to take a half out back and and really get to where she could feel comfortable again. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it really worked out.
So cool. Okay, Tiffany, if you could teach a master class to other instructors, what would the topic be and what would be some of the key points?
I kind of thought a little bit on this one, and I think, honestly, when I really, really got down to the base of it, I think if I were to think about it for any instructor, any discipline, I would want to teach how to get the best from your horses and riders. Again, no matter what discipline, because that's something that would work for everybody, and it's important, and it's something that can kind of go across disciplines, across riders, across horses. So again, getting the best out of your horses and riders. So, and I think it goes back to positivity, partnership, and then goals. So really looking at staying positive in your lessons, making sure your riders are coming up with positives after your lessons, focusing on the partnership between horse and rider, making sure that they are working together, making sure that the rider knows how to work with the horse, making sure that they have an appropriate partnership. That's something too that I've really found that, especially with our instructors, kind of teaching them how to match horse and rider, stuff like that. And then looking at goals, making sure that you have appropriate goals, looking at long-term versus short-term goals. And then making sure that the goals, you're meeting the goals and working toward the goals throughout the season or throughout the year. Even if you're not showing or anything like that, say you're just a trail rider, or say you just have goals to work on your own riding. So making sure that you're hitting points to reach those goals. And by doing those three things, that's how I found, for me at least, that's how I get the best out of my horses and riders, whether they're eventing, doing dressage, hunter jumper, or whether they're just pleasure riders.
Brilliant. I love it. So is there anything else that you want to share that I haven't asked you?
I don't think so. I think you really, you had a lot of really good questions, and you touched on a lot of really great topics, and some of them were topics that I was really, it made me really think and really kind of look into myself a little bit more, which was awesome. I really like doing that. So no, it was great.
Brilliant. Yeah, I love reflective questions. And I thought I put my hand on my heart, I took a deep breath, and then the questions just stream out. And that's why I call it inspired riding. I literally get inspiration for whatever I'm putting out in the world, whether it's I'm teaching, riding, connecting with clients, connecting with other instructors. So yeah, that's how I roll. So I'm really glad you like the questions. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I love that.
Cool. Well, is there anything that you want to share about your facility or anything regarding your lessons? Like, you can promote yourself however you like.
Sure. Yeah. I guess I'll just say, so Morningside Stables, we're in Maryland. We have locations in Laurel, Linthicum, and Annapolis. So all kind of centralized in Maryland, in the kind of central Maryland, right outside of like Baltimore area. We focus mainly on hunter jumpers, but we do have an eventing team. We have some dressage riders. We do have people who ride just for pleasure. And we do a lot of lessons. That's kind of mainly our focus. We do have some boarding, but that's a very small part. We have a lot of different instructors that are at each location. So it's kind of nice because you can always find an instructor that matches you. We have instructors of all levels. We have instructors of all types, which is really, really cool. And then we do summer camps. We have 1-day camps, which are really nice. So when kids are off school, they can come and do our 1-day camps. We do like spring break camps. We also have advanced camps, for kids that are jumping and walk, track, canter and stuff like that. So those are really fun. We host our own show series at our Columbia location. So we have our own Hunter Jumper series, which is MHSA recognized. It's also a colonial qualifier. And then we have our own CT series, so combined train series. We have a really fun banquet at the end of the year, which is at our local racetrack, which is really, really cool. Let me think if I'm missing anything. Besides all of that, like lessons, we do leasing programs. IEA, we have our IEA team. We have an NCAEL team, which is an adult league. That's been really cool. We just had our finale for that, which was really fun. So we're going to do those again next year. Our regular show team. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We do a lot of things. We're a very active barn. We really enjoy being active. We enjoy making sure that all of our clients have all of the opportunities that they can ever have. That's really what I want to give all of the riders and all of the horses, is all of the opportunities, because I know for myself, I didn't always have all of the opportunities. So I want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to do all of the things that they want to do and really enjoy their horse and enjoy riding to the best of their ability. So, I think that's what's really important, and having fun. So
Absolutely.
I really think Morningside gives that to all of their riders.
Brilliant. And we'll have the website link in the show notes, so be sure to check it out, everyone. And before you go, Tiffany, one last question for you. If you could create a billboard for other riding instructors to see, what would it say?
Oh gosh. What would it say? I really honestly think that I would just say be positive and be kind.
Love it.
Because I really think that there needs to be a lot more of that in the world in general, and there needs to be a lot more of that in the horse world. Even just inside barns, outside of the barns, at competitions, being positive and being kind, not only within your own barn, but to other barns around you. Life's too short. Let's all be positive and be kind to each other and make each other feel good about each other. If you see someone who had a good round, say it. If you see someone who has a pretty horse, say it. It makes someone feel special, and that's important. So I think it's really important to just be a good person and be positive and be kind.
Love that so much. I got chills again. Fantastic, Tiffany. Well, I really enjoyed having you on the podcast. Thank you so much again for being on it.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Thank you so much for having me. It was great.
You're welcome. All right, listeners, be sure to check out the show notes. Thank you so much for listening. And if you're inspired, please do write a review. Remember to lead with kindness for yourself and for your horse. And may the horse be with you always.